In the near future era, the Earth was disturbed by unknown cosmic rays. As a result, some plants and animals have mutated and evolved into completely new life forms, which humans call phantom animals. This year's examination for the certification of Royal Masters will be held next month, and it is said that the content of the test is different this year, but the specific changes have still not been announced. His name is Li Wenxuan, 18 years old. In order to cure his sister's leg disease, he had to give up his studies and his dream of becoming a royal beast master, and became a phantom beast miner at the lowest level. When he was returning home from work, he overheard a TV report. In this program, we have invited one of the strongest S-class Imperial Beast Masters in the world, Ms. Kelly, to give you a lecture about Imperial Beasts. Most phantom beasts need to absorb ores of the same attribute if they want to evolve. However, there are a small number of phantom beasts with special attributes that do not rely on ores for their evolutionary methods. The reporter asked curiously, "Ms. Kelly, can you tell us more about this special phantom beast?" Kelly smiled faintly and explained, "Of course, some special attribute phantom beasts do not rely on ores, but rather complete their evolution by absorbing specific emotions. For example, today there are a part of phantom beasts that have gradually replaced the original jobs of humans. Humans who are unable to control the beasts are forced to take up the lowest level of work, the phantom beast miner, in order to survive. The so-called phantom beast miner is to enter the phantom beast secret realm and mine the ores containing different attribute energies. While the ores that allow phantom beasts to be upgraded are worth their weight in gold, miners are paid pitifully low wages. It can't be helped who made phantom beasts not only more efficient than humans, but even cuter than humans. He was buying breakfast from a phantom beast when he was suddenly greeted by someone. He turned around and saw that he was working with Uncle Wong. Uncle Wong smiled and handed him a packet of snacks. "Shaoli, this is from the newly opened Phantom Beasts online store. Try it." Not far away, two miners caught a glimpse of him and couldn't help whispering behind his back, "That cheeky guy is here again." That's right, with his small body, he can't move more than a few pieces of ore at a time, and he still gets the same pay as us. It's really unfair. He heard it clearly and sighed in his heart. "You are dissatisfied, but can you keep your voices down? This is quite embarrassing for me." Uncle Wong was not so good-tempered and scolded the two men directly. "Hey, you two, watch what you say. How old is little Li? How old are you?" Besides, if he didn't want to cure his sister, he would have become a beast master long ago. Li Wenxuan was a bit embarrassed and scratched his head. "Uncle Wong, my physical fitness really isn't very good. I'll try my best to move a few more ores this time." Seeing him say this, Uncle Wong became even more dissatisfied and patted his shoulder. "What are you saying, this kid? It's clearly the two of them who are wrong." At that moment, a low voice interjected. "Seeing that you are arguing so vigorously, it seems that you are ready to enter the secret realm to dig for minerals?" The speaker glanced at his watch and said in a cold tone, "Anyone else need to get ready? If not, go on in." The man then waved his hand, and a ring of purple smoke floated in the air. Soon the portal opened slowly through the smoke, and he was the first to step through. Seeing this, the other phantom miners also stepped into the secret realm one after another. Li Wenxuan took a deep breath and followed in, secretly swearing in his heart. This time, he must move a few more pieces of ore, so as not to let people gossip again. When all the miners had entered the secret realm, someone suggested, "How will the work be divided today? Or is it the same way as before?" The two men who had previously mocked Li Wenxuan immediately laughed and said, "Don't. Isn't old Wong taking care of Li Wenxuan? Then let the two of them team up." Seeing that Uncle Wong was targeted, Li Wenxuan was a bit angry, but Uncle Wong patted his shoulder and comforted him. "It's okay. We're just a group of two masters. We're too lazy to take care of them. Let's go. Let's dig over there." After the start of work, Li Wenxuan mined the ore while thinking about apologizing to Uncle Wong. It was all his fault for getting him into trouble. Uncle Wong, however, just smiled and waved his hand, saying, "Don't think too much. Working hard is the right thing to do." Upon hearing this, he clenched his teeth and worked even harder. But only an hour had passed, and he felt like he was going to die of exhaustion. But thinking about the taunts of those two, just now, Li Wenxuan clenched his teeth and forced himself to endure his exhaustion. He couldn't let Uncle Wang's trust down. He had to hold on even if he was tired. Suddenly, a terrified scream pierced the silence of the secret world. He and Uncle Wang exchanged glances and immediately ran in the direction from which the sound had come. A miner was seen pointing in the distance, his voice so shaky that he could barely speak. Kill? Kill! Li Wenxuan looked along with his finger, only to see that the person who had just opened the portal had actually let his phantom beast bite a miner to death, with blood dripping onto the ground. This scene caused Li Wenxuan and Uncle Wang to instantly freeze, their hearts chilling. Hey, you phantom beast is crazy. It bites people, a miner shouted in horror. Others also yelled, take care of it. You're a beast sentinel. Don't just stand there and froze. The man originally still had a smile on his face and said gently, don't worry. But in the next second, his face suddenly somber, his gaze morose. In that case, let the nightmare wolf kill all of you. As soon as the words left his mouth, the nightmare wolf lunged out, fangs blazing, and headed straight for the miners. Crazy. Madness. The miners scattered in all directions, shouting in terror, help! The Beastmaster has gone mad. Soon, 2 miners were pounced upon by the nightmare wolves, their sharp claws pressed down on their bodies, and their terrified screams echoed in the secret realm. The other miners immediately panicked and ran in all directions. This scene reminded Li Wenxuan vividly of Ms. Kelly's words in the morning's news report. Some of the Shadow System phantom beasts can evolve into stronger individuals by devouring the negative emotions of humans, such as anger and despair. If you encounter such phantasmal beasts in the wild, you must remain calm or you will only accelerate their growth. His heart shook and he immediately shouted, don't run. All gather together and don't panic. Fear and confusion will make the nightmare wolf stronger. And its Imperial Beastmaster is trying to use your emotions to push it to evolve. Steady. Everyone must not panic. When the miners heard Li Wenxuan's words, they stopped in their tracks and tried to restrain their inner fears as they slowly gathered together. Although the nightmare wolf was powerful, it was not unbeatable. This sudden turn of events caused the Imperial Beastmaster to frown slightly. He did not expect that this weak-looking teenager would be the calmest and most sober of all. He raised his hand, and the cloth on his wrist slowly slipped off, revealing a black tattoo on his arm, faintly permeated with bizarre energy. He snorted, his tone grim. Just like this kid said, my nightmare wolf does need to devour the negative emotions from your deaths to evolve. His gaze swept over everyone, the corners of his mouth lifting slightly as he slowly said, so, I'll give you 2 choices. First, listen to that brat and band together to see if you can subdue the nightmare wolf before it kills you all. Second, his smirk deepened, a hint of morbid excitement in his eyes. You kill each other yourselves so that my nightmare wolf can absorb enough energy to evolve. Choose dash. His voice was low and dangerous, as if a demon was whispering in his ear. On hearing this, the miners fell silent, but their eyes gradually grew hard, their grip on the tools in their hands tightened, and murderous intent filled the air. No way. Li Wenxuan's heart tightened. He couldn't let them be compelled by the Imperial Beastmaster. He had to find a way to calm everyone down, otherwise this place would soon turn into a bloody internecine fight. Just then, his eyes fell upon the tattoo on the arm of the Imperial Beastmaster. That was the symbol of the Shadow Hunting Corps. This phantom beast criminal organization is infamous, specializing in illegal hunting, enslaving phantom beasts, and even involves human trafficking. The Imperial Beastmaster in front of him is actually a criminal. The corners of the Beastmaster's mouth rose slightly, his tone teasing, I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it. 5, 4, 3. Seeing that the miners were dominated by fear and gradually raised their weapons in their hands, ready to strike at each other, Li Wenxuan was in a hurry and fiercely shouted, everyone calm down. Don't trust him. He is not an ordinary Imperial Beastmaster at all, but dash. Bah! Before the words left his mouth, a heavy clubbing blow ruthlessly smashed into the back of his head. Intense pain instantly hit him, And Li Wenxuan staggered a few steps. His eyes were dazzled, and his ears were ringing. He was burning with rage and cursed in his heart, "These stupid people. All of you are told to calm down, but the result is surprising." He turned sharply to see who was attacking him from behind. However, when he saw the familiar face, his whole body froze. Surprisingly, it was Uncle Wong. That Uncle Wong who had always defended him was now holding a stick and staring at him with a cold gaze. He was full of doubts and looked up at Uncle Wong with difficulty, his voice hoarse. "Why? Why'd you sneak up on me?" Uncle Wong's face was pale, his forehead was sweating coldly, and his voice was tinged with trembling and despair. "Xiaoli, don't blame me. I don't want to die. You know, I still have a wife and child at home. I can't die. I used to take care of you so much. Isn't it only right that you die for me today? You have nothing, don't you? I don't want to fight the nightmare wolf. It's impossible for a human to beat a phantom beast. So please die for me and my family." After hearing what Uncle Wong said, he was so angry that his whole body trembled, not realizing that this person who had always taken care of him could be so shameless. He clenched his teeth, turned around, raised his fist in anger, and was about to slam it hard at Uncle Wong. Before his fist could land, however, he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his back. A miner with a pickaxe had struck him hard from behind. Li Wenxuan fell to the ground violently, the sharp pain making his eyes dizzy and his heart churning with anger. What made him even more furious was that several miners around him had actually surrounded him. Their eyes were grim, and they did not hesitate to lunge at him. They actually intended to kill him first. And at that moment, the Beastmaster stood by, his face full of morbid excitement, and laughed out loud. "Bravo! Awesome! Nightmare Wolf, quickly absorb these negative emotions and break through to the next stage." He was pleasantly surprised. The negative energies generated by the miners killing each other were even stronger than those generated when he killed people with his own hands. This was a surprise. After a period of frantic fighting, the earth was red with blood, and corpses were strewn on the ground. The remaining miners, panting and numb-eyed, became the last survivors. But was this victory really theirs? Among the survivors is Wang Zhengwo, the eldest uncle of Wang. One of them looked at Li Wenxuan, who fell on the ground with a stunned look remaining on his face, and asked in a low voice, "Lao Wang now, what do we do?" Wang Zhengwo was silent for a moment, then stepped forward and, without hesitation, kicked Li Wenxuan's body into the pool. "Let's say we had a mining accident today." His tone was calm, his eyes grim. "No one could say a word wrong about what happened today." Several of the survivors then quickly agreed in low voices to harmonize their statements before leaving the secret world so as not to reveal anything. In the pool, Li Wenxuan's body slowly sank, and the cold liquid wrapped around him. His consciousness began to blur, but a terrifying thought rose in his mind. Was he dead? However, he did not want to die. If he died, what about Xiao Yin, that innocent sister? Who will take care of her? Who will protect her? His mind drifted back to the moments he had spent with his sister, warm memories that nevertheless pierced his heart like sharp blades. He was not willing. He couldn't die. He still had revenge to take. Wang Zhengwo, that asshole, the Imperial Beast Master of the Shadow Hunting Regiment. That demon. He flared with rage, his anger nearly searing his sanity. He had to live and make these two assholes pay with his own hands. Just as he was slowly sinking, a dark, low voice suddenly sounded from deep under the water. Betrayal, hatred, anger, such a strong will to revenge. This human looks like it could be put to good use. A strange black energy approached quietly and wrapped around his body like an invisible tentacle. "O mankind, this emperor entrusts his power to you, in the hope that you will bring about the total destruction of this world that has enslaved us." As the words fell, dark black energy surged madly into Li Wenxuan's body like a tidal wave, cold and evil. The originally calm pool suddenly rose up in a circle of strange water waves, and there was a gurgling sound from the bottom of the water, as if some kind of long-sleeping being was about to awaken. Suddenly, a hand jerked out of the water. The fingertips climbed the bank of the pool as if it were death, slowly tightening. A few moments later, Li Wenxuan struggled out of the water, his soaked hair clinging to his forehead, and in his hand, he was clutching something pink. He opened his eyes slightly and swept his gaze to the shore, realizing that Wang Jiangwo's gang of assholes had already left. In response, he threw what he had in his hands onto the shore, then climbed up with difficulty, gritting his teeth himself. Probably because he was choking on too much water, he coughed violently and his chest rose and fell just as he came ashore. But just as he subconsciously touched his chest, he froze violently. His wounds had completely disappeared? How is this possible? That foreign pickaxe smashed so heavily. He clearly remembered that he hurt so much that he almost fainted, but now, the wound was like it had never existed. He looked down at the pink thing on the ground, and on closer inspection, it was an unconscious little phantom beast, the strawberry cat. Could it be that it saved itself? But he remembers very clearly, the strawberry cat has no healing class ability at all. Just as he was puzzled, a semi-transparent light screen suddenly surfaced in front of him, with cold mechanical words flashing on it. The illusory beast evolution system has been activated. Li Wenxuan froze violently, staring at the interface that suddenly appeared, his heart full of doubts. How is this thing so much like a game interface? A few moments later, the system popped up a prompt again. Task: please enter into a Phantom Beast contract with the Strawberry Cat. Not completed. Phantom Beast contract? His heartbeat instantly sped up. Doesn't this mean becoming an Imperial Beast Master? The idea of becoming an Imperial Beast Master made his blood boil instantly, and he knew that if he wanted to take revenge, becoming an Imperial Beast Master was the only option. He looked down at the Strawberry Cat lying unconscious on the floor, though it was not clear why it was here. But since it has appeared, then it will be his Phantom Beast. The moment he reached out and touched the Strawberry Cat, the latter's ears twitched slightly, as if sensing something, and its eyes slowly opened. The Strawberry Cat gradually regained consciousness, and as soon as it was awake, it realized that something was wrong and stared at the stranger in front of it with alarm, its fur instantly standing up. Meow dash! The Strawberry Cat arched its back and took up a fighting stance, its blue-violet pupils filled with wariness. Seeing this, Li Wenxuan immediately raised his hands and said anxiously, "Wait, I didn't mean any harm. It was me who saved you from the bottom of the lake." However, the Strawberry Cat did not listen to his explanation at all, and with a stern look in his eyes, he directly swung out a fist, the wind whistling. Bang! Only Li Wenxuan was smashed solidly to the ground, and the Strawberry Cat stood proudly in front of him, its tail waving as it assumed a victor's stance. He touched the corner of his mouth in a lousy manner, felt the fiery pain, and became furious. "You asshole cat!" In the next second, one person and one cat fought directly with each other, punching and kicking each other, and the scene was once very chaotic. I don't know how long it took, but Li Wenxuan stumbled back to the real world through the portal, panting and full of woes, holding a Strawberry Cat that was also struggling. By this time, some people around the area had already noticed the anomaly in the portal and were heading this way. Damn, can't let those bastards know that I am still alive. He was so alarmed that he quickly dodged into the shadows. Soon after, several foremen from the miners' team hurried over. One of them gasped and frowned. Strange? Could it be that I heard wrong? The other bald man snorted coldly and waved his hand. There's no way there's still a living person out there. He hid in the shadows, holding his breath, listening to the two men talking in low voices. Wang Jiangwo is really unlucky today. So many of his brothers who were close to him died in the mine. Yeah, as soon as he came out, he was tearing his heart out, yelling that he wanted to rush in to save the people, thanks to Lu Tu stopping him. Otherwise, he really might have rushed in to get killed. I heard that the whereabouts of that Imperial Beast Master is also unknown. That's not something for us brothers to worry about. It's been 5 hours since the mine disaster, and it's unlikely that any more living people will come out. Hearing these words, Li Wenxuan's heart churned with anger. his fists clenched in death. If that bastard Wang Jiangwo hadn't been the first to stab me, there wouldn't have been so many people dead. He took a deep breath and tried to calm down, but the hatred in his heart was already burning like a blazing fire. Wang Jiangwo, I will definitely make you pay. Subsequently, as he walked down the street, he realized that a large group of people had gathered ahead of him and that there was a lot of noise, as if something had happened. He was walking forward, puzzled, when suddenly two men in the crowd turned their heads sharply and their eyes fell straight on him. One of the older women cried out in surprise, "Shaoli, where have you been? Your house is on fire." "I've just called the police. The fire department will be here soon. By the way, where's that Xian girl? She didn't go out with you?" Boom! Li Wenxuan's mind instantly went blank, and his heart felt like it was being clutched hard. In the next second, he snapped back to his senses, hugged the strawberry cat tightly, and rushed home like a madman. The older woman shouted anxiously behind her, "Shaoli, don't be impulsive. The fire is so big, you can't get in." But where did he care about that much? There was only one thought in his mind. Xian was still at home. He rushed to the door of his house. The flames burned wildly and black smoke shot up to the sky. He slammed the door as hard as he could, his voice trembling with fear. "Xian, Xian, can you hear me?" A faint coughing sound, tinged with pain and suffocation, came from inside the door. Li Wenxuan's heart beat wildly and immediately shouted, "Xian, hold on. Brother will be right in to save you." Not caring about the burning pain of the doorknob, he took out his key and tried to open the door. But the door lock seemed to be melted by the heat, and the key could not be unscrewed. His palms were so hot that they were smoking, but he didn't realize that he was gripping the door handle with both hands, gritting his teeth and trying with all his might to lift the door. "Aha, open up!" He roared, his veins flaring, but the next second, click! Instead of the door opening, he yanked down the doorknob hard. The intermittent coughing in the room grew fainter and fainter, as if it would disappear completely at any moment, making his heart beat wildly that he lifted his foot and kicked the door frantically. Bang! 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 Flames scorched the air. Black smoke poured out of the doorway, and each of his kicks carried a desperate fury. "Brother, don't care about me. You go away." Xian's voice came from the house and weak as a candle in the wind. Those words were like a sharp blade that pierced his heart. His eyes were bloodshot, and he roared, "No, someone help me. Someone please save my sister. She's only 13. Just then, an abrupt system beep sounded. Strawberry Cat has absorbed enough rage, energy, and is about to awaken. 3, 2, 1. The Strawberry Cat arched its body slightly. Its tail swung violently, ready to strike. In the next instant, its hind legs lashed out, and it kicked hard at the door of the room. Bang! 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 Several kicks in succession, the wooden door shook violently, and finally dash pop. The door of the room collapsed with a bang. Between the smoke, a familiar figure appeared in front of his eyes. Xian in a wheelchair, her face pale, the corners of her clothes already charred by sparks. Meanwhile, far outside the city in a mountain forest, a group of people were sitting around a bonfire, excitedly chatting about their harvests over the past 2 days. I caught a flame fox yesterday. I'm cultivating it now. I've also been good these 2 days. I caught an ice snow dog. When it evolves, its strength will definitely not be worse than yours. All right, then tomorrow we'll try our luck and see if we can encounter a wind illusion beast. And at this moment, Li Wenxuan was hiding in this mountain forest with a determined gaze. He knew that he had to find a powerful mirage beast as soon as possible and become a true beast master. Only then could he protect his sister and prevent her from encountering danger again. 12 hours ago, after the fire, Li Wenxuan tells his sister about his encounters in the secret realm, including Wang Jiangwo's betrayal, as well as the dreadful plans of the Shadow Hunters. After hearing this, Xian immediately says that she will call the police. No way. Li Wenxuan refused on the spot, his eyes cold. If it's just dealing with Wang Jiangwo, then it's still fine. After all, he's just an ordinary person. But if that royal beast master knows that I am still alive, He will definitely come back to kill me again. He couldn't take that risk. He couldn't let his sister be threatened in any way. Absolutely not. Li Wenxuan swore in his heart that no matter what, he had to become stronger. He had to have the power to fight against them. He and the strawberry cat sat on a boulder in the mountain forest and rested, yet the gazes of the people around them were constantly thrown towards them. Look at that stupid kid, actually signing a contract with a strawberry cat. Ha! What can a wasted beast like a strawberry cat do? A group of people whispered, their eyes filled with contempt and ridicule. Huh? A rookie at first glance. The number of contract slots for junior Imperial Beast Masters is already pitifully small, and he actually wasted one on a strawberry cat? Brain dead, right? Li Wenxuan didn't pay any attention to these people's cynicism. Instead, he felt strange. These people's phantom beasts? Why are they all so weak? His eyes swept over several phantom beasts, and the system interface automatically surfaced detailed data. Fire Hornbull. Play button basic attributes. Level 10/15 strength. 45/60 agility. 18/40 intelligence. 22/40 play button special attributes. Strong attribute. Fire weak attribute. Ice next evolution. Flaming Bull. Rare attribute. None. Ice Dog, play button basic attributes. Level 8/25 strength, 13/60 agility, 24/70 intelligence, 9/40 play button special attributes. Stronger attributes. Ice weaker attributes. Fire next stage evolution. Ice Hound, rare attribute. None. Moomin Rabbit play button basic attributes. Level 6/25 strength, 11/60 agility. 33/80 intelligence, 15/60 play button special attributes, strong attribute, grass weak attribute, fire next stage evolution, sweet rabbit rare attribute, strength reduce damage by 5%, rare attribute, toughness 5% damage reduction. Or is there something wrong with this strawberry cat? Are the attributes of this phantom beast really in line with what a strawberry cat should be able to do? Phantom beast data. Strawberry cat play button basic attributes. Level 5/30 strength, 15/30 agility, 22/50 intelligence, 5/10 play button special attributes. Next stage of evolution. Strong attributes, weak attributes, rare attribute. Strawberry cat, special individual, celestial emperor. Movement speed increased by 15%. Attack speed increased by 15%. Martial saint. Damage dealt is increased by 30%. Indestructible. Damage dealt is reduced by 30%. Legend. Attack speed increased by 15% and damage dealt increased by 15%. Just as Li Wenxuan was pondering over the unusual features of the strawberry cat, suddenly, a blond man ran out from the depths of the forest in a panicked manner, his voice tinged with panic. Help! A second-rank phantom beast has appeared in the forest. The others at the scene were instantly in an uproar, and they were all in disbelief. A second-rank phantom beast? Are you sure? Isn't this forest the habitat of the lowest-ranked phantom beasts? How could there be a second-rank one? There was also someone who rubbed his hands together excitedly, greed shining in his eyes. A second-ranked phantom beast. If we can catch it, wouldn't we be invincible amongst the beast masters of the beginning rank? The person next to him immediately asked the blond man, "What phantom beast did you see?" The blond man was panting and his face was pale. That phantom beast was too fast, and I only caught a glimpse of a remnant shadow. But I estimate that it should be a second-rank lightning cat. Lightning cat. The crowd was abuzz when this name came out. Shit, that's a speed-type top-tier phantom beast. Cut the crap and go. If you're late, someone else will capture it. In an instant, a large group of people swarmed out, frantically running towards the depths of the forest, fearing to be one step behind. Seeing this, Li Wenxuan stood still and did not have any interest in getting involved. Getting involved in this kind of hilarity? Forget it. I don't want to meet the kind of crap like Wang Jiangwo again. He muttered in a low voice, a flash of coldness in his eyes. After resting for a while, he called up Strawberry Cat and prepared to officially enter the forest in search of his own phantom beast. Meow. The strawberry cat twisted its head in dissatisfaction and flicked its tail, letting out a protesting yowl. Then, it lowered its head and continued to concentrate on chewing its bread. Seeing this scene, he was so angry that the corners of his mouth twitched. Does this dead cat have any sense of contracting a phantom beast or not? He took a deep breath and secretly made up his mind. I must first find a phantom beast that completely listens to me before I can do so. He directly lifted the strawberry cat up and frowned. Eat, eat, eat. Just know how to eat. Stop eating and get to work. After entering the forest, the strawberry cat immediately shook him off and ran wildly with its short legs, completely ignoring his existence. Li Wenxuan couldn't help but hold his forehead. Hey, don't run around. Although this forest belonged to the low-grade phantom beast secret realm, it was still full of unknown dangers, and he didn't want to enter the ghost gate again just after coming out. He stared at the strawberry cat running happily in front of him, and an inexplicable feeling welled up in his heart. This cat really owes a beating. He was walking with his head down when he suddenly felt as if there was something on his face. Puzzled, he reached out and touched it, only to find his fingertips sticky with a hint of sweet scent. He jerked his head up and saw a sight that made his scalp tingle and his heart stop. A giant candy spider, hanging upside down from a tree branch, with 8 dark compound eyes staring at him in death. Crap! He hastily called up the system interface, and sure enough, target, Candy Spider Berserk State. Play button level, 8/20, currently Berserk, play button attribute, Sweet Strong attribute, control class skill, play button condition, angry, extremely hostile, target targeted. The Candy Spider had always been gentle. How could it suddenly go crazy? His heart raced. What on earth had pissed it off? Recalling the trajectory of his actions just now, he did not remember what he had done. Did he step on a spider's silk? Or did he run into its nest? Suddenly, with a glance, he instantly realized who the culprit was. Strawberry Cat. It was currently holding its head high, crossing its arms, and aggressively screaming at the Candy Spider. Or more accurately, it was provoking. Li Wenxuan's entire body was shocked. The reason why the Candy Spider went berserk was actually Strawberry Cat mouth? The Candy Spiders angrily waved their forelimbs at them and let out shrill cries, while the Strawberry Cat showed no sign of weakness and even assumed a welcoming stance, its tail blowing up like a fluffy ball. Li Wenxuan directly broke his defense and collapsed, shouting, "Don't go! You stupid cat! You're only level 5. The opposite side is a level 8 Candy Spider. Can you beat it?" Hiss! The Candy Spider violently spat out a sticky spider silk, instantly wrapping around the Strawberry Cat's limbs and hanging it firmly in midair. Looking at the struggling Strawberry Cat that was still meowing angrily, Li Wenxuan finally understood why no one wanted to contract a Strawberry Cat. But here's the thing. He's already contracted the stupid cat. There's no choice. He gritted his teeth fiercely and took advantage of the moment the Candy Spider adjusted its stance to rush up and snatch the Strawberry Cat out of the spider's silk with one hand. At this moment, he couldn't care about anything else, holding the Strawberry Cat and frantically fleeing, while the Candy Spider was in hot pursuit at the back, with its 8 long furry legs darting between the bushes at a speed that wasn't any less impressive. The Strawberry Cat was still defiant, struggling desperately in his arms. "Shut up!" Li Wenxuan growled lowly in exasperation and rolled sideways, narrowly dodging a spraying spider silk. However, the moment he dodged, his feet went airborne. Crap? A cliff? His pupil shrank and he tried to break his footsteps, but the speed was too fast, and he and the Strawberry Cat fell straight off the edge of the cliff. The Candy Spider stopped at the edge of the cliff, waving its forelimbs angrily and looking down the cliff as if it wanted to continue the chase. Suddenly, a cold light struck. A huge block of ice slammed hard into the Candy Spider from behind. The Candy Spider jerked back, its 8 compound eyes reflecting the oncoming ice, and it was too late to avoid. Boom! With a loud bang, the Candy Spider was instantly frozen into a huge ice sculpture. At this moment, a figure slowly stepped out of the shadows, stepping on the frost, step by step to the edge of the cliff. He was tall, his breath was icy cold, and he was wearing a dark-colored cloak. His eyes were as sharp as a blade, coldly looking down at the bottom of the cliff. On the other side, Li Wenxuan fell heavily on the edge of the stream under the cliff, splashing a large amount of water, his body mixed with mud and water in a sorry state. It was some time before he slowly opened his eyes, dazed and aching, that he reached up and touched the back of his head, frowning and muttering, "Hiss! That hurt! I thought I was dead! Meow, ow, ow!" An angry cat's cry suddenly rang out, and he snapped, looking down. It turned out that the strawberry cat was being pressed under his dead body, its two small paws constantly slapping his chest, its tail blowing up like a brush, and it was stomping its legs in anger. Li Wenxuan instantly had a jolt and hurriedly climbed up, picking up the strawberry cat with his hands and feet. "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." He apologized repeatedly, while checking strawberry cat's body up and down, asking worriedly, "Brother Meow, are you all right? Did you fall anywhere?" He looked around, surveying his surroundings, frowned and surmised, "It looks like we've fallen into the valley of the west side of the mountains." After determining his bearings, he took the strawberry cat and wandered through the mountains and forests in search of a suitable phantom beast. However, right in the middle of their search, bang! A fierce commotion came from not far away. He turned around fiercely, only to see that Strawberry Cat was slapping viciously at a sheep ba. The goat ba screamed miserably and was directly lifted to the ground, its limbs facing the sky, its eyes full of dizziness. He looked at the sheep ba on the ground that had been punched unconscious, and the whole person was dumbfounded. Wait, isn't the sheep ba a super docile phantom beast? How did it get cranky too? He turned his head towards the strawberry cat in silence, his eyes complex. In his heart, he couldn't help but mutter, could it be that the problem isn't with the phantom beast at all, but with it? What the hell did this dead cat do? Or is it really that? Underpunched? He took a closer look at the strawberry cat and thought, not unlikely, after all, sometimes I want to beat it up too. It was at this point that he suddenly made a new discovery. This sheep is unconscious, yet the status bar still shows it in a berserk state? Something's not right. If it wasn't the phantom beast itself, then there must be something odd about this valley. Thinking of this, he looked at the strawberry cat with a haughty face, and his heart sank. He had to get out of this valley in a hurry before something went wrong with the strawberry cat. He pointed in a direction and motioned for Strawberry Cat to follow. There might be an exit there. They had to get out as soon as possible. However, the strawberry cat simply ignored his instructions, which made him realize that something was wrong. The strawberry cat seemed to have been affected. Instead, the strawberry cat went in the opposite direction he had indicated, and he rushed after it, constantly reminding it, "It's dangerous over there." Chasing along, he suddenly realized that there was a hut in the forest. This is too strange. In such a place, how could there be an artificial building? He asked Strawberry Cat suspiciously, "Did you bring me here on purpose?" The strawberry cat just meowed softly, seemingly acquiescing. He looked up at the hut, where the windmill on the roof was slowly turning, while an eerie reddish smoke was surprisingly wafting out of the house. Immediately afterward, there came from the hut a burst of strange cries, mournful and low, chilling. Strawberry Cat strides towards the hut, glancing back at him on the way with a look that seems to signal, "Follow." He picked up a stick in his hand, took a deep breath, followed the strawberry cat, and carefully pushed open the door of the hut. As soon as the door opened, a pungent odor hit the room, and a thick red smoke filled the room, making it almost impossible to open one's eyes. He stepped into the hut, his mind filled with doubt. What the hell was this place? Looking around, he realized that the house was surprisingly full of cages, which held all sorts of phantom beasts, each of which looked dying. Among them, an extremely cold dog whimpered weakly, its body covered with wounds, curled up in a corner, its eyes full of fear and pain. He turned his head sharply and asked Strawberry Cat, "Can you break these locks?" Sure enough, the strawberry cat didn't hesitate to swing its claw and punch, easily smashing the lock. This made him wonder if the strawberry cat was still quite powerful at critical moments. He crouched down and carefully petted the extremely cold dog, inquiring in a low voice. "How are you doing? Can you still hold up?" Through the system panel, he saw the state of the extreme cold dog, severely injured, poisoned, continuously bleeding, and on the verge of exhaustion of life. What kind of person could do such a cruel thing? He immediately pulled out the only bottle of low-grade healing potion he had left and slowly poured it onto the wounds of the extreme cold dog, hoping that this bit of medicinal effect would be able to stabilize its life for the time being. When the extremely cold dog saw him take out the medicine bottle, he instantly cowered on the ground, trembling, with terror in his eyes, as if he had a great fear of medicine. Seeing this, he hastened to softly reassure, "Don't be afraid. I'm here to help you." Saying this, he slowly picked up the extremely cold dog and carefully fed it the potion. Taking advantage of the gap between the recovery of the extremely cold dog, he looked around the entire house and realized that all the phantom beasts here had gone through inhuman torture. Their bodies were strewn with wounds, and some of them were even dying. There was no doubt that someone was conducting extremely cruel experiments here. Acting in such a manner, he couldn't help but think of the person he had met in the secret realm. That grim, crazy aura, almost exactly the same. Suddenly, the extremely cold dog bit down hard on his trouser leg, with a force that, though not heavy, carried an obvious urgency. He looked down and saw that the extreme cold dog had actually been able to stand up. This made his heart rejoice. The healing potion had really worked. Immediately after, he realized that the extreme cold dog was staring at him with a low growl, as if signaling something. Sure enough, the extremely cold dog led him to a hidden corner outside the house, and after standing still, he barked woof woof at the ground, his voice urgent and anxious. He peeled back a plank of wood following where the extreme cold dog had indicated, and an even stronger fishy odor hit his nose. There was indeed a hidden underground laboratory underneath. He and Strawberry Cat exchanged a glance, then turned on the flashlight and walked down slowly, observing while whispering, "Set up a separate underground laboratory. What exactly is hidden here?" Just then, a dark shadow swooped out, and a ferocious hound came straight at the Strawberry Cat. He surged forward, shielding the Strawberry Cat as he stared warily at the incoming black shadow. Looking back, it was actually a huge second-order phantom beast, the bloodthirsty hound, with gnarled muscles and fangs all over its body, exuding bloodthirsty killing intent. He quickly called up the system panel and found that the bloodthirsty hound was in a state of berserk, critically injured, bleeding, and poisoned, just like the extreme cold hound just now. Upon closer inspection, the bloodthirsty hound was actually securely chained by a heavy iron chain, and seemed to have been imprisoned for a long time. Just in the moment of his vigilant observation, the extreme cold dog leapt up and lunged directly towards the bloodthirsty hound. He was so shocked that he hurriedly shouted, "Don't go over there! Don't you want to die?" However, the expected fight did not happen. Instead of attacking the bloodthirsty hound, the dog rubbed its neck affectionately, and the bloodthirsty hound gently licked the dog's wound. He froze, a puzzled look on his face. What was this? Aren't they hostile? At that moment, the extremely cold dog turned around and barked at him, his voice short and low, as if conveying some kind of message. Confused, he turned to the Strawberry Cat. "Does it mean to call me over?" The Strawberry Cat rolled its eyes and glanced at him with a bemused expression, its tail wagging with a "can't you tell?" "Look, the look." He looked warily at the bloodthirsty hound and whispered to the extremely cold dog, "You'll have to make him promise not to attack or we won't dare approach." The extreme cold dog seemed to understand and immediately ran over to the bloodthirsty hound, barking lowly a few times as if to appease it. He was just about to walk towards the bloodthirsty hound when his afterglow caught a glimpse of a thick book on the table. He stopped and looked closer, realizing that it was actually a lab record. He frowned as he turned the title page, and the first line that caught his eye made his heart sink. Experiment Day 1. The new subjects have finally arrived. Caught 2 extreme cold dogs at once today. It looks like it's still a mother and son lucky. Continuing to turn back, his fingertips could not help but tighten. Experiment Day 9. The big extreme cold dog was forced by me to devour the corpses of other phantom beasts, really looking forward to its change it. His heartbeat quickened as he flipped to an even more brutal record. Experiment Day 15. This guy is a little hard to get a hold of yet. So strong-willed that it makes me sick. But I finally got him to rage by knocking out his kid in front of the big extreme cold dog. Huh? He clenched his teeth, forced down the anger in his heart, and flipped to the last page, the 20th day of the experiment. The small extreme cold dog actually didn't die. Just right. This way, when the big one evolves into a bloodthirsty hound, let it eat its own child itself. Maybe this will make the bloodthirsty hound change in an unexpected way. Reading this, his fists clenched, his knuckles turned white, his chest rose and fell violently, and his anger almost consumed him. What kind of madman was this to do something so unconscionable? He slammed the lab record shut and turned to the extreme cold dog and bloodthirsty hound and said firmly, "Don't be afraid. I'll get you out of here." He immediately instructed Strawberry Cat to smash through the chains while he focused on figuring out how to undo the collar around the bloodthirsty hound's neck. The Strawberry Cat did not hesitate to copy the hammer, looked determined, and then ruthlessly hammered down, only to hear bang. Only to hear bang. The heavy iron chain should be broken. As he watched the Strawberry Cat's movements, he suddenly realized that the Strawberry Cat had actually begun to obediently listen to his commands. Was this his illusion, or had the Strawberry Cat really become obedient? But there was no time to dwell on that now. He picked up a screwdriver and began unscrewing the screws on the bloodthirsty hound's collar. He patiently removed several screws one by one, then gritted his teeth, gripped the collar with both hands, and pulled it outward with all his strength. After a lot of effort, the collar was finally ripped off hard by him, and the heavy metal smashed to the ground with a dull thud. This a lot of tossing and turning down. He and the Strawberry Cat are tired and panting. He wiped the sweat on his forehead and couldn't help but sigh. Fortunately, he has been working as a miner for many years. Otherwise, if it were someone else, I'm afraid that he wouldn't even have enough strength to turn the screws. Just then, the extreme cold dog swooped into his arms, woofing and barking, rubbing against his arm eagerly. He patted the extreme cold dog's head and said soothingly, "I know. Don't be in a hurry. I'll take a breather first, and then I'll rescue your mom. Now, only the last chain remains." However, just as he was about to make his move, the bloodthirsty hound suddenly lunged at him. His heart tightened and his body tensed instinctively, wondering what the hell it wanted. Just then he heard a human voice, and his heart tightened. Was it the owner of this laboratory who had returned? And he immediately whispered to Strawberry Cat, "Quick, hide." After hiding in the wooden crate, he did not forget to remind the bloodthirsty hound, "Wrap the chain back around your body. Act like you're still trapped, and don't show your face." Soon there were heavy footsteps at the door, followed by a man being thrown roughly into the house and falling to the ground. The man was full of panic. Rolling and crawling back, his tone trembled. "Please, don't kill me. I swear, absolutely will not say anything." He fixed his eyes and his heart shook. This person was actually the illusory beast master that he had encountered at the entrance of the secret forest. How did he appear here? Immediately afterward, a blonde-haired man walked slowly, carrying the extremely cold dog in one hand and casually ruffling his blonde hair with the other, a cold smile at the corner of his mouth. "Don't worry about it. I've always been merciful to humans." He paused slightly, his tone suddenly grim. "I only torture phantom beasts." His heart sank violently. The one who had warned them of the second-order phantom beasts in the forest in the first place was none other than this person. Could it be that he was the one behind this experimental field? The blonde man paced slowly, his gaze falling on the man who had been thrown in, the corner of his mouth teasing, "Are you curious as to why the normally well-behaved and obedient extreme cold dog would suddenly take the initiative to attack you today?" He smiled faintly and said lightly, "That's because I spread a large amount of blood rose pollen in this forest. This kind of thing can cause all the phantom beasts in the secret forest to fall into a state of berserkness and thus kill each other. It turns out that the red smoke wafting outside is actually the so-called blood rose pollen." As soon as the blonde man's words fell, He casually picked up a small crossbow, his gaze cold and without the slightest hesitation. The man completely collapsed, paralyzed in horror, and kept begging, "Please let me go. I swear, absolutely will not leak any information. And if I don't go back, the police will definitely come to investigate." The blonde man sniffed. The corner of his mouth raised a contemptuous smile, not even bothering to pay attention to it. His fingers moved, and the crossbow arrow was instantly shot out, killing him with a single blow. Li Wenxuan hid in the shadows and couldn't help but spit in his heart. Is this guy an idiot? The death of an illusory beast master in the secret realm. This kind of thing is simply normal again. Who cares? The blonde man casually threw the extreme cold dog onto the corpse with an arrogant smile on his lips as he looked down at them with contempt. You too will obediently become my phantom beast sustenance. Crazy. This guy was a complete and utter lunatic. He had to rush to get back up. He lowered his voice and quickly said to the bloodthirsty hound, "I'm going to take your boy out of here, and I'll call someone back afterward. Can you help get his attention?" The bloodthirsty hound was silent for a moment, then nodded slightly and snapped his mouth open, letting out a low, angry hiss at the blonde man. The blonde man laughed lightly, his tone contemptuous. "Or what? Haven't I already delivered your favorite child personally to you?" Hearing this, the bloodthirsty hound's hissing grew more and more furious, its low roar echoing in the underground space, its murderous intent raging as if it would storm out and attack at any time. The blonde man, however, mistakenly thought that the bloodthirsty hound was so agitated because he had witnessed himself killing in front of him. While the blonde man's attention was attracted by the bloodthirsty hound, Li Wenxuan hugged the extreme cold dog tightly and slipped outside silently with the strawberry cat. However, just as he reached the stairway, his heart sank. The exit was actually blocked by a thick wall of ice. He looked around and quickly perceived the problem. The blonde man had arranged a second-order ice phantom beast, the ice demon flower, at the entrance, which was ice blue in color, with petals like sharp ice blades, and the air around it was frozen to the bone. In the next second, the blonde man leisurely walked out from the back with a sneer at the corner of his mouth and a playful tone. "Oops, so there's still a little mouse who doesn't know how to die and got mixed up in here." He then lightly snapped his fingers, his tone cold. "Ice demon flower, freeze them for me." In an instant, the ice demon flower blossomed with an ice blue light, and a biting cold air swept over, and the feet of Li Wenxuan and the strawberry cat were instantly frozen, firmly trapped in place. The blonde man's mouth hooked up a cold smile. The bow in his hand was gently loaded, aiming at Li Wenxuan and pulling the trigger without hesitation. At the critical moment, Li Wenxuan had no choice but to hold the extremely cold dog tightly and protect it with his body. Just as the crossbow arrow was about to pierce his chest, suddenly, a powerful claw swung out violently. Splat. The crossbow arrow instantly turned into pieces in the air. Li Wenxuan jerked his head up, only to see the bloodthirsty hound blocking in front of him, his eyes widening angrily as he let out a deafening growl at the blonde man, his body's aura completely erupting, full of warnings and killing intent. The blonde man's eyes widened, his gaze sharp and puzzled. How is this possible? How could it have gotten out? He turned his head sharply, and it was just as he expected. The chain around the bloodthirsty hound's neck had long since been undone and was empty, as if mocking all his premeditation. In the next instant, a flash of panic flashed in the blonde man's eyes, and his voice became hoarse as he angrily cursed, "You bastard. Do you understand what you just did? That crazy dog will bite us all to death." However, Li Wenxuan appeared to be unimpressed, the corner of his mouth slightly hooked up, his eyes through the darkness, faintly said to the bloodthirsty hound, "The opportunity has come, the opportunity to take revenge has come, go." The bloodthirsty hound violently opened its huge bloody mouth and let out a furious roar that tore through the air, shaking the surrounding air with a fluctuation. The blonde man's face suddenly paled as he hurriedly waved his hand, pointing at the ice demon flower in a panic, and angrily commanded, "Ice demon flower, block it for me." However, the speed of the bloodthirsty hound was too fast. Almost as soon as the blonde man's words had just fallen, it had already swiftly pounced on him, and before the ice demon flower had the chance to perform any attacks, it was bitten to death by its sharp teeth in an instant, blood splattering everywhere. Seeing the ice demon flower fall, a strong panic rose in the blonde man's heart, and he turned around violently, wanting to run away, his feet stepping on the ground in a hurry. Li Wenxuan's gaze was as sharp as a falcon's as he observed those ice crystals gradually melting as the ice demon flower's consciousness dissipated, as if everything that had once been a line of defense was collapsing in an instant. The blonde man gasped for breath and yelled towards the imprisoned phantom beasts in the cage. "Damn it. You losers. Get out of there and go finish off that crazy dog." The phantom beasts in the cage, which had been silent for a long time, were threatened by the blonde man, and they all responded to the sound and viciously rushed towards the bloodthirsty hounds, and the atmosphere became more tense. However, the bloodthirsty hound coldly smiled and casually kicked out, and immediately a phantom beast was kicked off and fell heavily on the ground, the sound of bones breaking clearly audible. The bloodthirsty hound gently shook its head, effortlessly repelling another pouncing phantom beast, and its strong aura caused these phantom beasts to retreat. Seeing the bloodthirsty hound displaying unparalleled power, those phantom beasts were instantly terrified and trembled, and unconsciously began to retreat, as if the monster in front of them was synonymous with death. However, the blonde man did not give up on this. He gritted his teeth and roared loudly from behind. "Charge up to me. Otherwise, I will make you beg for your lives and beg for your deaths." Under the blonde man's threat, the two phantom beasts were still forced to attack, and although their hearts were filled with fear, they still endured their cowardice and rushed towards the bloodthirsty hound. One of the phantom beasts lunges through the air at the head of the bloodthirsty hound, attempting to tear the hound's flesh with its razor-sharp claws and teeth. Another phantom beast bit down on the bloodthirsty hound's chest, trying to crush it with its immense strength, trying to subdue it. The blonde man saw this scene and murmured in his heart, "Very well. These trash. As long as I can hold it back for a while, I'll have a chance." Then, without waiting for the situation to stabilize, he immediately began to retreat, preparing to escape. Li Wenxuan had long since noticed the blonde man's movements. He and Strawberry Cat reacted almost simultaneously, quickly blocking the blonde man's path of retreat. Strawberry Cat moved swiftly, swinging his fist out as if it were lightning, viciously giving the blonde man a hard blow, his fist bringing up a stream of air in the air. The blonde man fell to the ground. Lying on the cold ground, Strawberry Cat mouth corner up, secretly sneer in the heart. "Run Continue to run. See how much strength you still have." Li Wenxuan's tone was still cold and serious. He looked straight at the blonde man. His tone was icy. "Doing this kind of thing, don't think that you can easily escape." The blonde man stared tightly at Li Wenxuan and slowly backed up until his back was against the wall. His mouth repeatedly defended, "I didn't intend to run." While speaking, his hand inadvertently touched a switch next to the wall. Li Wenxuan's eyes instantly sharpened like knives. Sensing the blonde man's movements, he warned loudly, "Not good. Quickly stop him." However, the blonde man sneered and shouted, "Idiots, you should be the ones running." The words did not fall. He did not hesitate to press the switch at hand. The mechanical click sound echoed in the empty room. As the switch was pressed, Li Wenxuan looked up, and the sky in the air was suddenly covered with a large amount of pink smoke, which spread out and instantly filled the entire room, like a huge net that enveloped everyone. In an instant, the extreme cold dog's eyes were as red as burning coals, and it was obvious that its consciousness had blurred, and its body began to tremble violently, falling into a state of insane rage, as if it were a fierce beast that did not know what sanity was. Li Wenxuan's heart sank as he quickly realized the gravity of the situation, and he mumbled in a low voice, "Not good. If it continued, even these phantom beasts would be affected and completely fall into the abyss of berserkness." Sure enough, the instant Li Wenxuan's words had just fallen, the eyes of the bloodthirsty hound as well as the other phantom beasts changed drastically. A tyrannical red light erupted in their eyes. all reason and calmness instantly swallowed up as they entered an out-of-control berserk state. Li Wenxuan's face changed as he angrily grabbed the blonde man by the collar and roared, "Bastard! You crazy bastard! Not only will you kill all the phantom beasts, even you yourself will die along with them." A sneer emerged from the corner of the blonde man's mouth, his eyes full of contempt, and he said with a cold smile, "Do you think I'll be as stupid as you are?" Just a moment before the words left his mouth, the air around him shook violently, and an iron cage descended swiftly from the air, covering the blonde man with precision and trapping him firmly. A hint of smugness flashed in the blonde man's eyes as he coldly looked at Li Wenxuan, his tone full of mockery. "The only people who will die are you fools." Meanwhile, the bloodthirsty hound had already fallen into a frenzy of biting with the other two phantom beasts, and the scent of blood filled the air. The scene was chaotic. Looking at the scene in front of him, Li Wenxuan's heart couldn't help but tighten, his gaze deadlocked on the bloodthirsty hound, and a thought flashed through his mind. Damn it. The bloodthirsty hound was already in an unstable state, and now with the interference of the smoke, it was completely out of control. Suddenly, while tearing into another phantom beast, the bloodthirsty hound's gaze violently turned towards Li Wenxuan, and those eyes that were so red that they were almost dripping with blood stared at him tightly, as if all the berserk emotions were focused on him. This scene caused Li Wenxuan's heart to jolt, as if there was some ominous premonition approaching. His heartbeat accelerated, realizing that things were out of control. He did not hesitate to pick up the strawberry cat and the extremely cold dog, realizing in his heart that if he did not escape from this place before these two phantom beasts fell into a complete berserker rage, the consequences would be unimaginable. Li Wenxuan flew towards the stairway. The road in front of him almost turned into a dead end. The only ray of hope is still in the doorway of the stairway that leads to the upper floor. However, his action soon attracted the attention of the bloodthirsty hound, and the out-of-control monster's gaze locked on him like a razor's edge, murderous. Just at the moment when Li Wenxuan was about to step on the stairs, a coldness rose violently from the soles of his feet. His feet were instantly frozen, and the whole person seemed to be firmly bound by a heavy layer of ice. He turned back violently, but was shocked to find that the ice demon flower was not dead. It was lying on the ground, trembling, with a pair of icy eyes staring angrily at Li Wenxuan, as if it was making a last-ditch attempt to attack again. In this moment of crisis, the bloodthirsty hound suddenly let out a deafening roar, as if the entire space was shaken. Li Wenxuan thought that the bloodthirsty hound was about to launch a fatal blow. He subconsciously turned around and held the strawberry cat and the extremely cold dog tightly in his arms, as if holding the last hope of life. Just then, the extreme cold dog seemed to have sensed something and gradually regained its consciousness. It suddenly rushed towards the bloodthirsty hound and let out a low woof, its voice full of alertness and warning. The bloodthirsty hound sniffed. A trace of surprise flashed in its eyes as it paused slightly, seemingly shocked by the extreme cold dog's bark, and temporarily slowed down its pace of attack. In the next second, the bloodthirsty hound's huge claws violently landed on Li Wenxuan's feet, and the ice was instantly shattered, the fragments splashing in all directions, and an icy coldness filled the air. Li Wenxuan's heart shook as he secretly guessed. Could it be that it had just recognized its own child? After inhaling so much pollen, had its consciousness changed? Suddenly, the strawberry cat broke free from Li Wenxuan's embrace and quickly leapt up like a bolt of lightning, moving swiftly and unusually. In the air, the strawberry cat's body spun and unleashed its strongest move, the inquisitive martial god's meow fist, which carried an incomparably powerful airflow, pointing straight at its target. It was aimed at the iron device on the roof, the seemingly insignificant but crucial component that would make the difference between life and death in the situation. Strawberry Cat's punch lands, hitting the device hard, the iron structure making a violent crash. The device instantly destroyed with a sharp sound of metal shards. The power of this punch was so astonishing that even the roof of the hut was penetrated by it, and a huge hole appeared instantly, with the sunlight from outside pouring into the interior through the crack. The blond man fell to the ground, his hands helplessly propped up on the ground. Trembling, his eyes full of unbelievable fear, he stammered, "How is it possible? This is impossible." Li Wenxuan's gaze was like a knife, coldly gazing at the blond man, his tone icy to the extreme. "It's your turn."